Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we join Saina Nehwal in Dubai as we discuss her career and ambitions. And we delve into the history of the biggest team event of the year, the Sudirman Cup. She's on top of her game.
And that's the power from Saina Nehwal.
Is one of the informed players on the circuit.
And she's done it again.
From the verge of quitting the game, she's risen to the very top of the sport.
Wonderful play there by Saina Nehwal.
History is made. World #1, Saina Nehwal.
I never thought the sport which I'll take just for fun will become so professional for me, and I would achieve so much for India, and I'll get so many medals. It was all, I would say, luck.
We caught up with Saina Nehwal in Dubai as part of a tour of the Emirates to raise the profile of badminton. Seeing her surrounded by the glitz and the glamour that Dubai offers, it's hard to believe how far she's come. Born in Hisar, North India, Saina was an active child, but not a very social one, it seems, often quietly playing cricket with other children. When she was 8 years old, her family moved to Hyderabad, where she continued her passion for sports, but this time in karate. As often happens, a quirk of fate would lead to a change in her destiny.
They were coaching me for getting the black belt, but it's quite painful because black belt is a little higher level and you have to go through too many difficult stunts. I couldn't do that, and for an 8-year-old it was very, very difficult. I told my dad I'm not going there again, it's too tough for me. Maybe some sport which is a little easier,
Having played badminton themselves, her father and mother suggested she try the sport. She was a natural, racking up school, then district titles at a prodigious rate.
When I was only 12, I played my first international level in the seniors. So I was somehow feeling that I'm on the right track. And a lot of coaches whom I worked with always told my dad that Saina is a great learner. She's a good, she's got a good future. She can do well in the sport.
Despite the wins, it has been said that Saina's father only really believed she had the potential to be a major star after witnessing his daughter's ability to withstand pain and endure hardship. This toughness continues to be a trait that has helped her thrive in the sport.
I never had it in me to cry and go to my parents, oh it's paining, nothing like that. I've been a very quiet child. I've always wanted to just give my best in whatever I'm doing, whether I'm studying or whether I'm playing. Just wanted to give my best. In fact, right now also, if I have some pains or if I feel really, sometimes I get cold or sometimes I get fever, everything is okay. Now I don't really worry about all these things. Like it's okay, it's okay.
On the court, she was beginning to make her name for herself in the international arena. At 16 years old, she took silver at the 2006 BWF World Junior Championships. 2 years later, she upgraded it to gold, becoming the first player from India to do so. At the senior level, she raised eyebrows when she got to the quarterfinals of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. She then claimed her first major title as she won the 2008 Chinese Taipei Open, a Grand Prix gold event. The following year, she grabbed her first World Superseries title at the Indonesia Open, another first for India. In 2012, she took bronze at the London Olympics, yet another first for a shuttler from her country. By 2013, she was in sizzling form. She was world #2 and eyeing the top spot. Then, there was a sudden halt in her momentum.
I believe that I have that capability in me to play consistently finals or win the tournaments. I have that capability. But that was not happening. I was training in a group of 10 people, 10 or 15 people, and I'm doing the same training what they are doing. And I somehow didn't like it that I am coming down from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. My ranking was just going down, losing to all the players, and there was no way I was coming up or beating them, and my confidence level was just going from down, down, down. It was just going down, and I was not happy with that.
She had to make a tough decision. She chose to leave the coaching setup run by India's legendary player Pullela Gopichan for a more individual training regime.
I thought, no, this is the time. I think I have to change something. Otherwise, I've been struggling from last 1.5 years, and I don't want this to happen anymore. I have Olympics coming up. I just don't want to take the chance of losing again and again and feeling bad about it. And it became, at certain point, became too much. You know, you sometimes feel like just quitting the game because it's not necessary to continue like this.
The change has turned around her fortunes. She has returned to her winning ways. Last season, she won 2 World Superseries events. She has carried that form into this year, taking gold at the India Open and grabbing the #1 spot in the world rankings. It's been a buoyant 8 months, but she's not one to sit back and admire her achievements.
I never had a chance to enjoy or celebrate that victory I achieved. I'm sure anyone achieves. I don't know about others, but I didn't get any time to do that, and not even got a time to celebrate my world #1 this thing. But it was just tournaments, and what you have achieved is going to be with you always. But you have to always look forward to win more titles, achieve more titles, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Otherwise, I'm really happy with my life the way it's going.
She may be happy with her life, but she's still hungry. She's looking for World Championships and Olympic golds, but there's more she wants to do. She wants to stand as an inspiration to the many girls in her country who, like her, dreamt of achieving sporting glory.
I'm doing well, Sindhu is doing well, so I'm sure the other young girls will get inspired by us. And in tennis, we have Sania Mirza, who is world #1 now. So I'm sure looking at her, there'll be more interest in tennis as well. So luckily, we have a lot more girls world #1 now. So I'm hoping that in future we'll have a lot more girls coming up in different sports.
From a quiet little girl with too much energy to an athlete at the top of her sport, Saina Nehwal's ascent in badminton is a testament to what talent and determination can achieve. She continues to rewrite her country's history, and she's far from finished. It's time for our brain teaser. We want you to tell us who this person is. I was born in Korea. I made my senior international debut in 2009. I won my first major title at the 2011 Taipei Open Grand Prix Gold. We tell you the answer after the break. When we get back, we discover the man behind the biggest team tournament of the year, the Sudirman Cup. Before the break, we asked you to name this person. I was born in Korea. I made my senior international debut in 2009. I won my first major title at the 2011 Taipei Open Grand Prix Gold. The answer is Song Ji-hyun. The 23-year-old was born in Korea's capital, Seoul, in 1991. She swiped her first ever international title after defeating Thailand's Ratchanok Intanon in straight games 22-20, 21-14. She has won 3 Grand Prix Gold titles and 1 World Superseries Gold. History plays a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of any sport, badminton included. The popularity and dynamism of the modern game may not be where it is were it not for the passion and vision of past administrators. And as fans savor the action happening at the 14th edition of the Sudirman Cup, we pay tribute to the man behind the tournament's name. The father of Indonesian badminton, Dick Sudirman, was a giant in sporting diplomacy. Together with his trusted friend and colleague at the National Association PBSI, Suharto Suhandinata, he was instrumental in the unification of the World Badminton Federation and the International Badminton Federation in 1981.
Because his aim is dedication and sacrifice for the development of badminton in Indonesia and in the world, I think they don't feel it, all this sacrifice. But on the other hand, they are very proud about that.
Helping us learn more about the late Dick's legacy are Justian Suhandinata and Titus Kurniadi. Justian is the son of the late Suharto, while Titus had previously worked closely with both great administrators at PBSI. Dick became the National Association's president in 1952 and went on to hold office for 22 years in 2 separate terms. At the IBF, the precursor to Badminton World Federation, he served as councillor before becoming its vice president in 1975. It was during that time that Dick became increasingly concerned about the future of his beloved sport, when conflicting interests saw some nations break away from the IBF. Titus had joined the PBSI as treasurer in 1977.
Pak Sudirman and Pak Suharto is my senior. They was so much interested in the foreign affair. In 1978, so finally they divided, become 2 world body. So one is still in the name of IBF, the second the WBF. We in Indonesia, especially Pak Dirman, was very concerned. If the world body is conflict, divided, never will come to Olympic.
The World Badminton Federation, or WBF, consisted of members such as China and Malaysia who were dissatisfied with some policies of the IBF, chief of which was the voting structure it had in place. Dick's dream for the sport was to see it featured in the Olympics, so a divisive world body was far from ideal. He quickly spearheaded efforts to appease all parties and come to a solution.
As everybody knows, if the world level body split it, then IOC will not consider when he act as an IBF officer and he act for the world badminton. Don't mix it. If you mix it and then you have the personal interest or country interest, that will not be good.
We solve the China inclusion and the voting structure. There are 2 voting systems. One is still one country, one vote, but for badminton purposes, we have a different structure. With this voting structure, everybody happy, and then China come into IBF.
1981 marked the signing of the Unification Agreement in Tokyo. Re-energized as a single entity once again, IBF was now able to put greater focus on realizing the Olympic dream. Sadly though, the man who dedicated his working life to achieving the historic moment wouldn't be there to witness it. Dick Sudirman passed on in 1986. He was 64. Wanting to commemorate the legacy of his good friend, Suharto lobbied for a tournament to be named after Dick in a letter to the then IBF president, Ian Palmer.
I want to propose Sudirman to be named as one of the championships held by the IBF at that time. I leave it to you, he said to Ian Palmer. I leave it to you. I fully trust it to you. That you can do it. And I think Ian Palmer promised at that time, don't worry, I will do my job.
After a period of discussion, the Sudirman Cup was born. Jakarta was the inaugural venue in 1989, and the biennial competition has grown in stature since then, having been successfully held around the globe. In 1992, Dick's biggest ambition was realized. Badminton finally found its place at the Olympics. Fittingly, in its first competitive debut at the Barcelona Summer Games, Indonesia brought home 2 golds and a silver.
We cannot forget him. Once we talk Indonesian badminton, so we must refer back to him. He is correct to be the father of badminton of Indonesia.
A conscientious diplomat and a visionary for the game, Dick Sudirman's significance will forever be etched in badminton folklore. After the break, we're in New Zealand as we discover how the National Association is using its tournament's brand new Grand Prix Gold status to develop the game.
Konnichiwa. 日本から三谷美夏です。All of me.
The youngster from Japan, Minatsu Mitani, very fit athlete, very good mover around the court. That is incredible. Wonderful shot from Minatsu Mitani.
相手との駆け引きだったり、そういうなんか身長とかも関係なく戦えるところがすごく面白いところだと思います。
Remarkable, then playing the perfect net shot.
Tana's playing beautifully here, isn't she? And she's got the winner. Fantastic. What a victory for Minatsu Mitani, the Japanese player here.
特別得意なショットっていうのはないんですけど、その粘っている中で、スピードを上げたりした時のショットでいつもポイントを取ります。
Oh yes. Good rally.
What a winner from Mitani, who played some wonderful shots herself.
In the end, it was a superb reverse slice cross-court drop shot from Mitani that did the damage.
14年の世界選手権で銅メダルを取った時は、やっぱり一番自分の力を出して勝てた試合だったので一番印象に残ってます。
She's the type I really like. She never gives up, and she's really putting a good fight.
And she takes it, the first ever Japanese women's singles player to win a Super Series title. Minatsu Mitani.
New Zealand's love for badminton has traditionally been as a social sport, but no longer. It may still be competing with other more popular sports on the island nation, but it is gaining a foothold on a professional level. The administrators of the game have spared no effort to promote and raise the profile of badminton and its players. Badminton Unlimited has covered some of their initiatives and development programs. This week, we're back in Auckland to report on another step in their development.
We've had a Grand Prix for several years now. This is our first year as a Grand Prix Gold, and already the increased interest from the public and the badminton community here in New Zealand this year has been significant.
It's such an added value piece to what we're trying to achieve in badminton in New Zealand. It's a significant increase in the quality of players that we have, and fantastic exposure that we wouldn't receive at any other level.
The 3-year Grand Prix Gold status of the Sky City New Zealand Open was inked last year. The new status has brought a hike in global audience, with over 50 countries and an estimated 220 million viewers watching the games either live or delayed broadcast. An increase in prize money to $120,000, the highest in any badminton tournament in New Zealand, and the allure of ranking points for the Olympic qualification has seen some high-profile players attending the event.
This new status will help the development of New Zealand badminton. It will help to grow the sport in the country.
It's not a common feature in New Zealand where the tournaments are of a Grand Prix Gold level. It has been a while since I've been here. But I'm back again because now I have a better opportunity to get more ranking points.
Jadi bisa datang ke sini lagi gitu.
But it's not just about what the tournament can bring in, but also what benefits the players from the host country can gain.
It's more experience for us, playing international players, different style, different way of thinking. It's better for us, and then we develop the idea of playing differently, and then we start thinking about how we play.
The action did not just happen on court. The association was on top of their game, finding innovative ways to promote the sport and the event as they brought badminton to the streets and into a theatre.
There's a new sponsorship team in place here at Sky City this year from last year, and one of the first things they said, well, is there an opening function? And my initial reaction to opening function was, well, the players find them quite boring because they go to a tournament every week, they go to a function, they listen to speeches, they really don't want to go. So the Sky City sponsorship manager who I was working with, Shay, here at Sky City, said, leave it with me. And he came up with this idea. We wanted something very interactive that people could engage with the players. So it was a little bit more low-key and a bit of fun. So that's how that came about.
Well-known faces from the badminton world played alongside New Zealand's own top men's and mixed doubles shuttler. Former Olympic medalists showed off their skills on stage with former and current World Junior champions. Badminton enthusiasts were also given a chance to play with the international players. And they were not the only ones having fun.
Hang on, no.
The audience did not just engage in a game or two with these top shuttlers, but they were given a chance to participate in a question and answer segment. The event ended with an autograph session.
We should feed off the back of an event like this as much as we can to give the sport as much publicity as possible. It's really big globally, obviously, but not so much in New Zealand. It is fun, live, TV sport, it's okay, but then live is really something else, so it's really cool to be a part of.
Back on the court, it was business as usual for the players. The final day brought with it a huge crowd, which were treated to some top-class action. In the spirit of engaging the community, fans were given the chance to get up close and personal with the champions.
I think it's about people walking away and saying, wow, look at what has been put out there in terms of a quality event and an experience that people won't forget. And when I talk about people having that experience, it's the players, it's their coaches, it's their support staff that have travelled, hundreds of kilometres to be in New Zealand to experience the event. But it's also our spectators, it's the community that comes around and gets to see world-class badminton in New Zealand every year, and especially now at a Grand Prix Gold level.
All the sweat and hard work paid off for the team. But the work doesn't stop. The event has been a great springboard for the sport, and Badminton New Zealand are hoping to capitalise on it for the future.
It is the flagship event. It's what all our young players aspire to play in. We've got a 13 and a 14-year-old player from New Zealand playing in this event. What a fantastic opportunity when you're so young. Yeah, I hope it's here to stay, and if I have any influence on it, then it will be here to stay for a while.
Let's take a look at what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we find out how Indonesia is shaking up its national team, and we report from China as the Sudirman Cup comes to a conclusion. See you next week.